Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 9. This is episode 2 and last episode we worked towards getting a proper storage system set up with the storage scanner, and we also got some passive power generating. We also got a gold jetpack, but as you can see we are not keeping up with the power requirements with everything. Same with the jetpack tooltip and also all of the machines here with our smelter and also the player transmitter. We are not getting enough power to fill all of these up. So that's what I want to work towards today. First of all, I want to fix all of my power setup. So I want to use a biogenerator setup. Normally, you would use this for making the gas burning generator and then burn ethylene in this. One of the best ways of generating power within mechanism and also just within modern Minecraft in general. And it's pretty cheap, honestly, if you look at it, like atomic alloy with just some like diamonds and some enriched diamonds, and this electrolytic core, just some random bits of dusts, and also the biogenerator. So yeah, it's not that bad to craft, but unfortunately in this pack, it's nerfed. It basically does not generate enough power to keep itself up, which is really unfortunate, but we're gonna work towards it. So first of all, we need to grind up some mallets. We could put a cutting board, and I believe I should be able to just put a mallet on this, just cut it like this. Oh, maybe with a different tool. Okay. Huh. So I was thinking of all the Farmer's Delight tools, and I found out these knives. These knives are what will help us cut stuff on the cutting board, and probably a regular flint one will be just fine. Okay, and if we just right click, there we go. We can get the melons from the melon block, and we should be able to crush these up. Oh, they probably went in my backpack, did it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I had some filters on here, so I have a pickup upgrade, that's why. So yeah, this crusher should be able to crush these melons and give us biofuel. Very nice. And we can burn these in the biogenerators, and this will generate us power. Okay, let me get some stuff set up now. Right, I was thinking we could also just uh put these on a compacting drawer, right? We could put a botany pot and put a hopper botany pot on top of the thing. Yeah, so this is what I have right now. I'm putting a hopper botany pot on the compacting drawer, and this should give us all of the melons that we have. Whether we get full blocks or slices, that doesn't matter. And the crusher should be automatically able to input from the back. Maybe not. We probably need some pipes around, and then we can just use the pipe to distribute it amongst all of the biogenerators that we'll be putting up over here. So yeah, I need to start making up some space over here because I will need to put some pipings everywhere. I used flux nuts, pretty cheap. Okay, so biogenerators. If we put, I can't put it like this. If we put like this, that should work. Okay, very cool. And we can put all of the rest of the biogenerators. Oh, it's the green sides here. I'm not sure if that matters. I don't know. For most machines, it does not. I hope we can convert the sides. We'll set it up and see how it goes. But yeah, all of these have no power right now, but we should be able to fill these up with the biofuel from here. And we should just be able to extract it from the crusher, and I'll put over there. But well, we need to connect it to this somehow. Oh, it's connecting to the thing. Okay, I need to reconfigure this. Make sure I don't pull from the pipe there, because I also need to put, okay, input, output. Yeah, there we go. So that should now work. Uh, So I should just have to remove this connection here, and we just set this to pull, and now this should work. And I wonder if we could round robin with this. Restaurant won't ignore. Oh, we don't have the option to round robin with the basic pipe upgrade. Interesting. We might need the improved version for the piped upgrade. It doesn't give me any tooltips though, so I'm not sure. But it's pretty cheap though. It's not that bad. We probably have to upgrade the pipe upgrade to a gold one. So let's just do that quickly. We have everything. Nice. Okay, so let's check. If you upgrade this to the gold one, we now have the option to set our algorithm. So now, distribution round robin, it will put one into each of these at a time. So let's just connect up all of the biogenerators and connect it to the final pipe. And now all of these should be getting biofuel. Not there. There you go. Yeah, all of these should be getting biofuel. And these are producing bioethanol with the biofuel. Nice. And they're generating about 1000 Fe per tick, which is crazy. This is why Mechanism is so good, because Mechanism has like a huge different like scale of power compared to all of the other mods. So like it kind of like it doesn't scale, it kind of like overpowers all the other mods because it scales very differently, because the power requirements in Mechanism are just so much more. So, next up, I've been trying to get up to the deep dark, because I want to work towards getting the Aldermonium ingot. I will try either finding Aldermonium or just finding the Warden if we can. But that one might be a bit difficult, but we'll see. So I just dug straight down with my jetpack on hover because I can't do that. But apparently for some reason I was still taking fall damage. But yeah, eventually we got to the bottom, and we finally found the deep dark biome. And I also saw some catalyst and sulk sensors over there. So yeah, so eventually I tried summoning a warden. I made a little chamber so I could put a bed in and so I could spawn back in. And I just tried to hack away at the warden. Yeah, took a couple of tries, as you are about to see. The Warden is one hell of a beast. And finally, after like 20 tries, I finally got to killing the Warden. Right, so if you check here, it gives you an Aldermonium ingot as a quest reward for killing the Warden, and we can use this for making the nuggets which are needed for the teleport pad to the mining dimension. Yeah, pretty cool. So we're back at home. We finally made the teleport pad, and we should be able to just right click onto this and go to the mining dimension. And the mining dimension has Aldermonium ore everywhere, so we shouldn't have problem finding Aldermonium anywhere. I believe we need to shift right click with an empty hand, and make sure nothing is in your offhand. But yeah, this is the mining dimension. It's just plain flat world, and it's at layer 252. So there's a whole like stone layer below the dirt level, and below the stone level there is a deep slate level. So there's deep slate ore here, but also on the deep slate level we find all the Aldermonium ore. And below the deep slate level, we have netherrack, so we got all the nether ores over here, all the modded ones as well, all the Gregtech ores, everything. Mechanism, every kind of ore. And finally, at the bottom, we get endstone ores. And all these are like, I believe 64 each, which is a lot. Yeah, they're pretty deep in. And then finally, at the bottom, you have bedrock. And yeah, so you can see just it's just flat bedrock. Oh, yeah, that's the whitescape. Yeah, you should probably not stay within sit on bedrock there because you could get whitescaped. Yeah, that's something I did not know. But apparently it turns out you're in a different dimension. But yeah, we finally got the builder. I also thought like let's use the rest of the Aldermodium for the builder because the quarry card with the RF tools builder is kind of OP. But also we can also use a filter module and then we can filter for just plain what should we call it? Just plain ores. We can say like put a tag on it and say forge ores, and then it'll just mine ores for us, which is pretty nice for the quarry card because then it won't be mining all of the useless dirt and stuff, which is pretty nice. But yeah, it's pretty easy to craft once you have enough diamonds and everything. But in this pack, obviously, you do need that. But yeah, once you add forge ores, you can't add all the bodium, if you can see. But yeah, you can add every single ores because all the bodium is not quarry mineable. It is only player mineable. That is a problem with all the bodium. But yeah, so if I just select the quarry, I can select one corner and then I can select another corner, probably three chunks out. So we do a 3 by 3 chunk area. So like 9 chunks total. And we just dig all the way down to bedrock probably for all the ores. And then we just need to adjust the offsets. So yeah, I've moved all of my biogenerators to the mining dimension because I will be putting up all of my base in the mining dimension. But yeah, also the green side mattered because they can only export energy from the green side, which is an important point to make. But yeah, I put up all the item pipes and I can set up my energy setup here again. So I can export my crusher setup over here and just quickly just route it all the biofuel into all of my biogenerators. So we're generating about like 6,000, I believe, 6,000 RF per tick with all of these biogenerators, which is plenty enough, I believe, for the. Oh no, I made more biogenerators, so about 10,000, I believe, 10,000 biogenerators, 10,000 RF per tick. But yeah, so I'll be putting everything here. As you can see, I'm also trying to put everything in one chunk. So make sure. I mean, it'll be chunk loaded, but just in case, just to be better for sure. Generally, you want to have same setups in the same chunk. It matters more for multi-blocks, not as for like single setups. But just to make sure everything's loaded at the same time. Yeah, as you can see, we are getting all kinds of ores in our quarry setup. It's just generating all the ores, diamonds, everything. It's just digging all the way down to bedrock, which is pretty nice. But yeah, it's pretty nice setup. So I started working on getting a pulverizer from thermal expansion because I wanted to start moving and I wanted to make some cardboard boxes, but you need some sawdust for that. And I thought the cheapest way to do that would just be getting a pulverizer from thermal because I want to get to thermal anyway. You can also put ores in a pulverizer and it will get you dust. But I was trying to test if it doubles it, but apparently it does not. So it's not that good for doubling ores, unfortunately. But yeah, if you put some oak logs in it, you get some sawdust. And you just do a 2x2 craft, and you should get all of the cardboard boxes. So you got 6 cardboard boxes, and you could just right click this onto blocks and just move them just like that. And they'll hold all of their stuff within them, which is pretty convenient, especially if you're moving like large barrels or chests. So yeah, this is pretty nice for moving all of the stuff from the overworld. I was just checking if all of these blocks were empty or not. But yeah, they're pretty convenient for moving. And then once you place them, I believe you just like right click them on the ground and you just right click to open them. Shift right click? Yeah, you shift right click then to just plop the cardboard box open. Yeah, pretty nice, pretty convenient. So I moved them all and then I routed them again to my storage scanner so I can use them again as my storage system. and I have a working storage system again. But I was also working on getting what do you call it, wireless version of this, and this thing is like infinite access multi-dimensional, which is crazy and consumes no power, but it does need a lot of redstone and iron. It's kind of expensive, but what also, oh sorry, not iron, quartz. It needs quartz. So yeah, it is kind of expensive because you do need 3 blocks of redstone. For the early game it is, but once you have like a quarry, it's not that expensive because we're getting everything from the quarry. So we barely have enough, which is pretty nice. We also have plenty of quartz for making the tablet. But we should, once we make the tablet, we should be able to just put a storage scanner module, this thing, which is pretty cheap. Oh, we need 2 crafting tables. I believe it's this recipe with the regular planks. And yeah, we should be able to make a storage control screen module, and we should be able to right click, shift right click on the storage scanner and just put this in our tablet, and we should be able to access the storage scanner multidimensionally wirelessly from anywhere in the world. So I was working towards gathering up some lava because I was trying to get some obsidian as well, for working towards getting to the nether, and yeah, so on to the nether we go, because there's plenty of things in the nether that are pretty useful. We need to go deeper. Pretty nice. As you can see, we discover Greg ores in the way as well, so it shows me all the Greg ores as we experience it, the quests. Or most probably, oh yeah, it's probably because they were gated behind the nether, so the quests only updated once you actually went to the nether, that's why. But yeah, eventually I found a nether fortress, which was not that hard to find. But yeah, I saw there and found that there's some cool contraptions here because it's kind of modified, I believe, by Create or some sort of Create add-on. And there's a hand crank and it opens up these doors in the nether fortress, which is kind of cool. Pretty nice actually. I like these like Create add-ons which add like moving contraptions to the nether and other structures, make the world more lively and modded feeling, which is pretty nice. But yeah, only thing I was looking for here is the blaze spawner, because we wanted some blaze rods. And yeah, you can actually move them with whatchamacallit, the cardboard boxes. So the cardboard boxes are actually really helpful for moving any block. They can move practically any block, even the flawed quartz blocks from A2. Those things cannot even be silk touched. They like lose some durability every single time, so that's pretty nice. But once I get rid of this blaze, as you can see, my TPS is really not helping me with this. But yeah, I should be able to just break this cardboard box and grab this and put this in my base and farm up all of my quartz. So yeah, went in the nether, I got plenty of gear, and as you can see, we have plenty of loot, which is pretty nice. The loot here in this pack is gonna be pretty nice. We got all the we got both the blaze spawners over in the nether, and we should be able to quickly make up a blaze farm because we want to move towards integrate dynamics soon and eventually get into A2. But yeah, a cool trick for starting integrate dynamics is actually putting 2 armor stands on. Ooh, just shift right click, I believe. Putting 2 armor stands on this, because normally you have to jump on this manually, but if you put 2 armor stands on this, this actually has enough weight to just crush the log on its own, which is pretty nice. So I don't have to reset it every time. If you can see here, yeah, it's pretty convenient tool, because then I don't have to like manually jump again and again into this tool. But I believe the indent of the fluid needs to face towards the drying basin, so that I can actually get some of the mineral resin. But yeah, if you just put a drying basin facing towards the indent of the liquid, and then we put our 2 armor stands over here, they should just jump over onto this drying basin, the squeezer here, and they'll just squeeze the mineral resin into the drying basin and they'll give us mineral. We should also be able to put a hopper onto this. If we just put a hopper into this, this will also automatically take out all of the the blocks of mineral resin automatically. So let's just quickly make a hopper. Oh, you can directly put logs. That is a very convenient recipe. It did use my mineral. This is why I don't like the RF tool scanner, because it just randomly consumes something else in the old dictionary, and I sometimes don't want that to happen. But yeah, so we can just do this, go over here, and then just right click, and this is a pretty easy setup. Getting easy early game mineral resin. This is pretty easy. But yeah, so I should be able to get all of the energy batteries and upgrade the squeezer and the drying basin to the mechanical version. As you can see, I now have a mechanical drying basin and also a mechanical squeezer. So now we don't need any of this stuff because we don't have to squeeze it manually. We can just use FE or energy to power both of these machines, and they will work much faster. Both of these machines are pretty nice. You can just set this to auto eject true or false, and it will automatically eject any of the stuff. But yeah, early game blaze rods, you should probably crush them up in the mechanical squeezer because they give you 5 dust, which is pretty nice for early game. I don't have enough ender pearls, so I used up all of my ender pearls for making this gate. Because these gateways to eternity are pretty nice for farming early game, what should we call it? Early game mobs. You can just right click them and they will just spawn waves of those mobs, provided you have just a little bit of those drops. Not only do they spawn waves of those mobs, once they eventually die, they actually spawn like a whole loot pinata. They run a whole like loot table. So once you finish it off, uh, it will just create this massive loot table, which is just insane. Yeah, it's actually crazy. So yeah, just from 5 ender pearls, I was able to get all of these ender pearls, and also these fragments that I also had, and I can make more ender pearls if I want to make, which is kind of nice. I don't know why they have both the 9 recipe and the 4 recipe. I'm sure there's like a conflict between mods here. That's the reason why. But yeah, I have more than enough ender pearls. Pretty nice. Also made a slime gateway so I could farm up all of the slime. Because slime is something that's pretty hard to get early game. So getting them just like this is pretty nice because I just needed plenty of slime, and yeah, I got like, I believe I got around 4 stacks of slime in total through these gateways. So I tried to get into some integrated dynamic storage. I was working towards the omnidirectional connector, but I needed some logic directors which need some chorus, and the only way to get it is using pop chorus root, but also using this proto chorus, which is pretty nice. Recipe, because you only need some ender pearls and some of the mineral berries, and you can just make the stuff without even going to the end, which is pretty nice. Even though we were going to go into the end anyways later in this episode, it was kind of nice getting these pretty early on without actually getting into the end. But yeah, I just made some proto chorus, and I just crushed them up in the mechanical squeezer and got all the liquid cores that we needed from that. So yeah, I just made some. I was just checking how many pearls I had because I wasn't sure. So I made some logic cables, just made a couple of them, and finally got the omnidirectional connector. Just needed the output and the input variable transformer. Some of the recipes really remind you of A2 because even refined storage and A2 have like input, output, all of this specific stuff. But yeah, so eventually I made the storage terminal. And also that also required some of these input output variable transformers and whatnot. But yeah, this storage terminal basically allows you to access anything within your integrated dynamic storage system. All you have to do is basically just connect them up with some ITER interfaces. This is basically like a storage bus or a what do you call it in refined storage? The external storage thing from refined storage. Yeah, it's basically acts like that. So you just slap on a storage terminal and you can just right click. And if I just click here, I can access anything that is connected to the item interface, which is just so cool. I mean, I've never seen any person on YouTube use the integrate dynamic stuff. But yeah, another thing I wanted to do was find some unobtainium, because that is one thing that I have not found yet. But also wanted to look for end highlands, find some end cities on the way, because I did want an elytra, because those things are really useful. So I went searching for a couple of entities, found like 10 entities, and eventually found one with an end ship. Took I think about 2 hours just flying around. It was really annoying. Eventually did find this little shulky boy, killed him, got rid of him, uh, and yeah, there we had the elytra. Sky's the limit, very nice. But yeah, I needed this because I wanted to get the flux-infused elytra for my travel into the other for later on. Next episode, we'll get into that. But yeah, I made a portable logic programmer so I could program some stuff for my integrate dynamic stuff. I just made some variable cards, put on a crafting interface. This allows you to auto-craft within your integrate dynamics storage system. All you have to do is basically make patterns like this. You just click on recipe and you just drag a recipe, and you can actually just drag on any recipe and you can program them with like variable cards. And you can even have like item tag variants, you can have like NBT variants. I don't know what reusable means, but you can have like tag variants. You can put any tag for your recipes, and you can make any sort of custom recipes, just like A2 refined storage. So I made a bunch of recipes for all the basic integrate dynamic stuff, also mainly to craft the crafting interface itself. That's probably the first thing you should probably do when you're making these auto crafting setups. Auto craft things that you need for the auto crafting setup, right? So I made patterns for all the pistons and wood stuff that I needed for the storage system for integrate dynamics. As you can see, there has a craft button, and you can just click it and it can just auto craft anything you want. So it just says crafting valid, and just like that, it can auto-craft anything. It's pretty nice, and it's decently fast, I would say. Like if I just click craft, and just like that, 2 of them. It is very fast, because like there's no upgrades or anything. Yeah, it's pretty nice, and it's pretty cheap for considering how few resources you need for it. You just need a tree. You just need to find a tree. So I was trying to automate flux linkage amplifiers for the thermal expansion stuff. So I try to automate electron plates, redstone flux coils, and I just put them in all the crafting recipes. And I try to put the you can also do processing recipes, for example, like plates and stuff. But you just need to slap on the crafting interface on the machine instead of a crafting table. So I just put this on the alloy smelter and this on the multi-servo press for making the plates, and that should have automated everything that I needed for the flux linkage amplifiers. And I was saying, oh, okay, let's just see if we can craft like 12 of them or something, and it said that I didn't have anything. Because the ore dictionary is kind of weird, because you see the game in all the mods, it doesn't consider stuff from other mods valid for some reason, because technically you can't make the create electrum sheets, right? So I had to like manually remove all of the the tags and stuff. And once I removed the tag variants, it actually did work. It started working. So I had to manually just put in all the modium stuff for the plates and alloys and everything, instead of the create or other mod variants, to make sure that the stuff actually worked. Also, you have to set up like auto input output so you can like put them on the same side. They work just like A2 pattern providers, which is pretty nice. So you don't have to do input output like refined storage, separate stuff. You can just use the same machine, same side, configure everything, and then everything just works, which is pretty nice. And yeah, that was how I auto-crafted the flux linkage amplifiers, and then I just sped the auto-crafting itself. So I had sped up the auto-crafting of the flux linkage amplifiers themselves, which was Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, it's not that bad. Um, you just have to manually put everything in the older mods. I believe it would not this would not be the case in any other mod pack. But because in the all the mod stuff, you everything is overwritten by the all the modiums ingots and stuff, that's something you do have to consider. You have to manually fix that. But yeah, my RF tools builder was added, the quarry, so I finally found some Oldemodium slate ores, and with my Oldemodium pickaxe, I was at it. I could just mine away any of the Oldemodium ores that were left behind by my quarry. Also spent some time making some spawners. I put some dragon eggs on it because I finally got to the end and got the eggs. So yeah, I was eventually able to just put eggs on it, so I was able to ignore all conditions so that actually they work in the mine dimension, because before they didn't, right? So I had to like do some weird stuff, funky stuff to make it work. But yeah, eventually got it to work. I just put a dragon egg and got some blaze rods, which was pretty nice. But you could also move them with color boxes just like usual, you know. So I tried making a mob farm with it. So I put up a mob grinder, put a fan. The blazes came down and the mob crushers just crushed them. Yeah, it was pretty easy, simple system. I did replace it later on with the stuff. We could also loot fabricate it. I mean, that's something that I wanted to do later on, especially for catalyzing glands and the slime stuff, because you need that stuff for making lily pads of fertility, which would be really important when we get into mystical agriculture later on. So that's something that I wanted to do. But yeah, eventually I just replaced them all with vector plates because I didn't really have enough feathers for making the range upgrades for the fan. So I did replace all of them with the vector plates to make sure that I could actually move all the blazes. I also finished automating all of the smelters and the furnaces to make sure I had complete autocrafting with integrated dynamics. Also set up a chicken spawner so I could make more chicken eggs for spawn eggs and stuff. But yeah, we had made some good progress today in this episode. Um, really sorry that we don't have live footage yet, but uh, it is what it is. You know, it's just how it is. Sometimes don't have time to record audio. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode. Um, this was it for today's video, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.